Alrighty then, it's time for a top lane Zac game, and of course this one is a ranked one. Which one? And this comes at a great time as well, considering the new meta that's starting to unfold. If you haven't been paying attention to the LCS or into solo queue bans, right now the meta is a sort of top lane AP tank that's being played more as a bruiser. So you're seeing stuff like top lane AP Rammus, though he's still building tank and then into AP, top lane Nautilus, and I've seen some people experiment with Sejuani. But the thing is, I still have yet to see another Zac. I'm still the only one playing Zac. He's perpetually underrated, even though that he does have some flaws. Right now, Zac, I think, would be quite a good fit. Maybe not against Nautilus, because Nautilus is just really too goddamn fat and just will end up out-trading you at some point. But Zac just has the versatility and the sustainability in the lane to deal with a lot of top lane, top-tier threats. Maybe not Fiora, she does just too much damage. But still, I think maybe Zac will see a resurgence, if anything, maybe in the top 3 when Nautilus isn't able to be picked, either banned, and then the other Rammus is banned too. So who knows? It's the new quote-unquote meta is just starting to come up, so we might see him very soon. Either way, I hope you're noticing in this fight how I'm dealing with the Jax. I'm trying to fight around my blobs as much as possible to sustain myself, because right now his damage isn't too crazy, or at least not crazy enough that I can deal with it. That I can't deal with it. As soon as I pop my blobs, I try to head there as soon as possible, because his piddly damage right now is just only marginally higher than what I can sustain against myself. So I whittle him down as much as I fight him. That's the general idea right now. I also want to mention what I'm going to be doing with Zac in terms of leveling up. One of Zac's greatest things that a lot of people do not take into account is that you can level up his abilities in 3 different ways, at least in top lane. In the jungle, you pretty much always just max out your E. By the way, I missed that just by a long shot. You can in the jungle, you pretty much just level your E first because you need that range and that ganking power. But in the lane, you can level up your Q, you can level up your W, or you can level up your E, and they all have different effects. If you level up your Q first, then you get a little bit more poking power in for a melee champion, and a little bit more dueling prowess. By the way, I'm gonna get ganked by Graves, and it's gonna be sad. I try to escape by flashing over the bush and just trying to create as much space as possible, but Jax flashes forward and pops my passive, and then Graves gets the kill. Anyways, that I was saying, if you max out W, you get more slugging fast. You get slugged out with your opponent more, your cooldown gets better, and your pushing is stronger. It's debatable between which one is better in most situations, either your Q or your W for pushing or for poking at your opponent. But in this case, I'm going W to deal with Jax, since he does have some burst, but he's mostly just going to slug it out with me for the most part. So lasting longer is important. And if you max out your E in the lane, it's mostly if you're going to go for pure ganks, because otherwise it's not worth it. It's mostly just going to help out your burst and your range. Anyways, watch this. As soon as he commits to it, I combo him with my E, W, and Q, and then I pop my ultimate, and I don't use it just to completely stomp on his head, because he would have killed me. Instead, I used the chance with my ultimate to collect some blobs and then hit him with a final blow. That's one thing a lot of people don't do with Zac, with his ultimate. It's that it's a great deterrence against some opponents. You can use your pop-up to knock them away, create some space, and then move away with your ultimate while you collect blobs to heal yourself, so you can also get your W cooldown back. Because I'm assuming most people are going to start off their ultimate combo by using W first, then ultimate, collect those blobs, and give yourself on your third pop down another W blast so you can chunk down your opponent. It's pretty good to do this, especially if you're maxing out your W first for a maximum amount of damage. You'll see that soon enough again. It's just something you probably should learn to do when you're dueling another person. By the way, another thing with Zac that's actually pretty important is what skill you max out second. That's something that not a lot of people put thought in. By the way, I used my E here just to make space because I thought he was going to leap at me again. I got a little too paranoid. Anyways, I'll actually go back to the second leveling up thing soon enough, because Jax is going to get very aggressive. I turn around, hit him, and then he commits further. And as soon as he gets close with his stun, I pop my ultimate again just to knock him away. And once again, I kind of sort of focused on collecting my blob first before fully committing on him. And I managed to kill him off with my E as it came off cooldown. Anyways, the second ability you max out with Zac also changes the flow of a fight. If you max out, let's see, right now I'm maxing out my W. If I maxed out my Q, my fighting potential against the Jax would be like unsurmountable. I'd be able to basically just beat him to death. I wouldn't be able to catch him for the most part because my E at rank 1 isn't the greatest thing ever, and the burst on it is not that good either. But maxing out your Q and W first just gives you so much fighting potential, a lot of dueling potential. If you max out your E second, of course, you have your long range initiation that can be followed up with your W and your ultimate. Hooray, everyone's happy. Q and E is something I rarely actually see. I mean, I do it sometimes, but I don't see other people doing it. But watch this. I was hoping that I'd last long enough so I can use my ultimate against the Graves, but Jax is likely coming soon, so I flash over the wall before he can kill me. Flash over the wall, and then I use my E just to create space between two barriers. Like I try to figure out where he's gonna walk to, and then I manage to escape. Him and Jax give chase, but to no avail. Obviously, I'm fine. I'm really gone. Nonetheless, I could have probably killed the Graves if I had managed to hit him with my E and follow her up with my W and ultimate, and then that would have been such a great turnaround. Either way, better off than dying. And speaking of hubris or getting a little too cocky, you're going to see something that I rarely do, and it's mostly because I'm getting very aggro because both teams are actually fighting with each other, calling each other bitches. Still, anyways, my bottom lane teammate gets into a fight. As soon as Jax teleports in, I teleport in as well, just because I don't want Jax to pick off any free kills and get himself a bigger lead against me. So far, I have him rather controlled. Me and the Vi have done good at pinning him down at the very least. Me and Brand are able to take down all these three, but he's pinging at me just to back away, but I'm like, they can't take me down by themselves, plus my passive is up. So I'm creating space for my Jhin so he can take down the tower while me and the Brand just sort of piss off the enemy team. We get the tower, we go towards top lane. I do hit a pink ward, but I was going to hope to try to gank mid anyways. And then Swain sticks around even though he knows me and my other teammate are there. And I managed to beat him with my E. And then the saddest shit happens. Kennen goes in and Vi goes in and they get both snared and they get hit by Leona's ultimate and then they just get systematically killed. The Vi uses her ultimate for practically no reason. So that was ridiculously sad. Jax tries to steal red buff by trying to, surprise attack me near there. And I just go to red, leash it towards me so a hard reset and he won't get shit. Brand, for some reason, decides to go into the enemy jungle to try to steal blue, even though he's a support, super goddamn weak, and the enemy team is basically missing. You saw that. It's pretty damn pointless. Now, here's what I mean by me getting a little too cocky. I'm way stronger than Jax at this point. In a straight-out fight, I would probably beat his ass. I'd have my ultimate, I'd have my good rankings on my abilities. But you guys normally know I'm usually on the side of caution, but here I just kind of want to bury somebody. Jax picks a fight with me. I try to poke at him with my W and my Q. I take tower shots basically for free, and the gain for them isn't that much since my Q isn't that strong right now. I chose to max out my E second, but here we go. I end up hitting him right now with my W, and he triggers the turret on me. Jax jumps on me, and the turret triggers on me once again. I take way too much damage, and once I pop my ultimate, I decide to overly commit, and I hit none of it. So I end up getting killed. Of course, he's going to finish me off here, because it's Jax. His single target is great enough to pop all the slimes. So that was rather embarrassing and sad. I had to point it out, though, because it's better to gloss over the fact that I got overzealous and got punished for it, than just flat out ignore it. And speaking about getting punished, Brand comes in and the Jhin totally wusses out at shooting Swain even once that Swain is able to put out enough damage against the Brand to finish him off. That's not a good thing for us either. The enemy team, in a straight out team fight, would absolutely slaughter us. We don't have the damage to deal with anybody aside from crowd controlling them to death and hopefully picking off somebody important. But they have a lot of threats and they have a lot of control. And Swain especially is a gigantic threat to us because he's just going to be... If we can't CC him down and burst him down, then his bird form will tear us to pieces. However, the enemy team seems to be going for frags and shit. So they're like not working together, so to speak. By the way, I just want to keep pointing out... You guys hopefully noticed throughout most of the game that I keep trying to do that as much as possible. I did it, I believe, 2 times already, and once actually 3 times, but 1 time was a failure. As soon as Jax pops at me, and his E's about to blow up, I pop my ultimate to knock him away. That's to create space and to stop his stun from happening. That knockback is so, I would just say, underestimated, and a lot of people don't give it as much credit as it deserves. One thing about it is that it's a strong peeling tool that you don't exactly want to be using for peeling, because it puts it sometimes can put to waste every other bounce that it gives. But the initial bounce is instantaneous. It's a lot of abilities can't even say that. It's just the second you click it, everyone around you gets knocked up. That's a pretty damn strong thing. It's usually what makes Zac a little bit more difficult to initiate than a lot of other champions, is that his delivery system for it, his long range E, is pretty slow and telegraphed. So against a lot of opponents, a lot of skilled opponents, they will flash away, see it happening, or something like that. They'll be prepared for it. So his ultimate's initiation for his initiation, the ultimate component of it is amazing. So when it comes to duels and fighting or whatever, if you need to use your ultimate, try to use it for any moment you need to at least lock down an opponent or completely fuck up their channel or whatever. Because as soon as that happens, it's your perfect oh shit button. That's what I was trying to say, right? It's your perfect oh shit button. Either way, we've started getting the upper hand against the enemy team because they're getting very, very overzealous and greedy. Again, they keep going for turrets, they keep going for weird, odd pushes, but it's very obvious they don't have everything warded. They're sort of not grouping up together. Here, Graves is all by his lonesome, and as soon as he gets close to the tower, me and Branch is pretty much fucking shit up. Also Jhin, of course. Pretty much an easy kill. Jax is by himself top lane doing something else. Swain was farming what I assume was the jungle. So the enemy team, they have a very strong team fighting team, but they're not using that strength. My team comp, as weird as it seems and as reliant on Jhin as it would seem, is doing far better, because at the very least, even if we're communicating through yelling, we're communicating nonetheless. We're sort of working together. Jhin is massive at this point because we've managed to defend him and basically funnel food into him. Like, every kill we've gotten, we've mostly given it to him, and the Vi's kind of stolen a few kills. So our damage dealers, or at least the ones who can execute people, are rather huge. Right now, all that we require is to pretty much, again, pick someone off. Like Swain here, for whatever reason, is like way pushed out in his lane. Not even able to CS anything, he was just kind of out. And because of his death, we're now able to surmount a massive push. Again, they may be strong, but they're not strong enough to murder any one of us quickly enough. If they had Swain, maybe they'd outlast us, but at this point, they're pretty much just going to be served on a silver platter. Jax commits to trying to kill me, but he forgets that I have my passive, so he pops me. And as soon as that happens, Brandon Vi tear him a new one. So the enemy team is falling apart. We've taken the inhibitor. What else can my team do except other than throwing the game? Yeah, I guess it's time to throw the game, right? Anyways, we tried pushing for the next tower. We got a little bit too greedy, but I think everyone just sort of got on everybody's nerves and they just wanted to end this, right? Enemy team, the enemy Swain, I believe it was him. I don't actually remember who it was. Oh, no, wait, it was the Graves. Yeah, sorry. The Graves. He was actually yelling at his Jax teammate for buying Rageblade, for saying that no Jax buys Rageblade, that in higher tier elo, everyone rushes Titanic Hydra. So that's the kind of bitter anger that was going on in the game. Anyways, two of my teammates get caught. I catch this Jax. There's no possibility of killing him, of course, because I don't really have my ultimate. So he gets to skedaddle for free. Either way, the enemy team is already on full-on tilt, and they're not working together. So we've gained control of all their map. We've got their nexus. We've got their mid inhibitor pushed in. So it's about time I decide to pick a fight I can't win. I thought, oh, the Jax should surely be super duper weak. I should be able to kill them. But let's not forget, I'm not exactly AP, and he's got a Rageblade and a Hextech. I'm an idiot. So I just pretty much got me and Brand killed. Brand sort of got himself killed by showing up in a fight that was already losing. So that was bad. Fortunately for us, the enemy team doesn't bother to get Baron when they could have so easily fucking done it. So yeah, even though I died like a bitch, and even though my Brand also died kind of like a bitch, the enemy team didn't do jack shit. So we managed to get Dragon. We managed to pretty much reset the whole thing as if that never even happened, and that was utterly pointless. Even if I got the kill, against Jax, it would have been huge, right? It would have been a huge win, and as a result, and me dying would have also been huge. They just didn't bother to do anything. So that's the kind of communication or lack of communication my opponents were having. They could have had such an easy Baron. As a result, we just shoved them forward. They don't have any wards again still, because I at least I don't think they have wards, because we're able to get Baron, and they obviously don't have vision of it because Ezreal makes the most desperate ultimate there that was like within 10,000 health, and they sort of kind of klutz their way in here. Leona gets killed, pop my ultimate, although the fight sort of moved away from it. I managed to catch Swando and get him killed, flash over the wall. In comes Ken and finishes off everyone else. My E was meant to try to pick off the Ezreal, but he died anyways. And the Graves, surprisingly, still has his flash, so he ends up surviving. But with that, the game is basically done and done. I'm hoping Zach makes a reemergence, because honestly, he's probably one of the more fun champions to watch, although I know some people don't really like playing him. Either way, it was a pretty damn good game, close to the beginning, but the enemy team threw it, so hooray for Zach.